103.2 Preston FM.
Your community.
Your radio.
Morning. Now, I made a statement at the top of the show which says photography is the art of frozen time. It's the ability to store emotion and feelings within a frame. And when you think about that, that is so true, because I was also thinking about the photographs that I take that then you dust down every so often and you look at them, and what you have done, you really have frozen time, haven't you? And to talk about photography, I've got in the studio right now Sue Blackhurst, and Sue is from Susie Q Photography here in Preston. So, Sue, a very good morning to you.
Good morning to you, Hughie.
Really nice to meet you.
And you too.
Now, on Tuesday of this week, I actually had, I think it was Tuesday, a wildlife photographer in the studio. And, we were talking about the difference in a way. He's very much into wildlife, how difficult taking a photograph of something that moves. You know, you stand there for 20 minutes and you're ready to press the shutter and the bird's flown. What about that with the difference with people? Can it be difficult? Because you're particularly keen, are you, on portraits and on the human aspect of photography?
Yeah, there are a lot of similarities, I have to say, because I think with people, the human aspect, children in particular can be quite good fun. And I did a shoot recently where there were children and pets. And I think the saying is definitely true. It's this Labrador was running wild around the studio. But there are similarities, in fact, because trying to capture something that is moving and children and attention. But I try really, it's not going for just a photograph, it's trying to capture personality and emotion in their eyes and a bit of character as well, which is why with people I love trying to capture the character.
Yeah, I was looking at some of the photographs over the last couple of days and this morning, and some of the photographs were beautiful, particularly the ones with the eyes. I know there were some examples of your photographs that particularly capture the eyes, and they're absolutely beautiful. How did you get involved in photography? When did you pick up that first camera and think, well, it's a camera, but...
It's a long story, and it's really sort of going around in a circle, to be honest, because I started off many years ago. My dream was to be a makeup artist.
Yeah.
And yeah, I always wanted to be a TV makeup artist, and I was really lucky. Went down to London, packed my bags.
Yes.
My parents took me down one weekend, thinking I'd be back the following weekend. And I started off going to stay with a friend, and I just got into the business. I'd gone to college and trained, but I got into the business of being a TV makeup artist, and then working in fashion photography, working with models up the streets of London. And always looked at the photographers in awe, and always just looked at the work and thought it was amazing. And to be honest, never really thought that I'd ever actually do it. And I suppose throughout my life, I mean, that was going back, 20, 30 years ago, and going out through my life now, it's been one of those professions where if someone said, what's your dream job? I'd love to be a photographer. And I've always been really interested, had the camera, and then went to college and thought, right, I'll study. I'll go and get the qualifications and do this properly. And it just went bonkers. It absolutely went bonkers. Friends were coming saying, they weren't coming. I was going to my friends and saying, would you mind posing? I had a friend in the bath. Posing, I was spraying them with water and baby oil and doing shots, and I had fans, I did all sorts of things, and they were fantastic. They were just so supportive. And then it turned around where people asked me, and it sort of grew, and the business has just really grown ever since then. And where I am today is great. And
when you started, I mean, I don't know if it still is, or was it then? Is it a very male-orientated profession?
Ooh, I think the perception is often that it is, but I think males tend to go towards, like you say, the wildlife photography, landscape photography. You don't tend to find them. They do wedding photography and portrait, I say children, but I don't think they feel that affinity like women do. Women see a wedding and we tend to go, oh, look at the dress, or babies, and we go all gooey-eyed. Men probably don't have that same feeling that we do. But there is a fair balance. I think there's an advantage being female. I have to say that, yeah. And,
this year you were in Blackpool for the switch on of the illuminations, and, of course, Gary Barlow there. So, were you able to photograph Gary Barlow?
I did, and that was a dream come true, I have to say. I was looking forward, it was the script first of all, then it went changed to Gary. It was absolutely fantastic to be down there in the press pit with all the photographers. So I've got the guys next to me from, the national press and magazines, and I'm there amongst them. It was really quite an experience, and to just be there and to be part of it. There were other bands there as well, some good bands. There was Last Breath.
Yes, we've had them on a couple of times.
Yeah, I believe so.
We need them back on, do we, with Last Breath?
Yeah,
we'll have to sort that.
I'm sure, from that, I made an excellent friend now, Melanie from Aspire Music Management.
That's right. Good morning, Melanie. She's listening in.
Is she listening in today, Mel?
In.
An amazing music manager for new bands, and she's just been a tremendous support, and through her, of course, I'm here today. And that's also led to Prestival, and it's a true power, I think, of networking as well and being out there. So she's done a fabulous job, and hello, Mel.
So, were you quite pleased with the outcome of the photographs from the switch on at Blackpool?
I was actually delighted because, the national press, they were next to me, and they have a rule at these events. You can only photograph for the first 3 songs. So you go out there, and then you tend to go into the press tent behind, backstage. And they all rush back, and they've all got the laptops, and they're downloading the images immediately. So they're going online before the next artist has come on stage. So I was seeing their work and then looking at my work, and I'm thinking, yeah, actually, I prefer mine in some of those.
Lovely.
So, even though I say so myself.
And why not?
Oh, why not?
Have you had the opportunity yet for the Lytham Proms that is becoming bigger every year? Yes,
I have. That was probably, again, one of my... been a true 80s girl at heart. I was at Lytham Proms last year and, spent lots of time. Tony Hadley, one of my heroes. And Jason Donovan and Sonia and all, the names from the 80s who are great. This year, Tom Jones, I'll be there again. So we've got the Lytham Proms again this year, which again I'm really looking forward to, because you spend the day with these people and you get to know them, and they're great.
And how do you decide on pressing that shutter, say, when you're there this year, when you go to Lytham Proms, or when you were at Blackpool? What is it? Is there a certain time that you're kind of looking through the camera lens and it's the right time to press that shutter? Or do you do it in sequence with many shots?
I think you do. And I think, it can be quite subconscious, but you do. I can spend quite some time looking through the camera lens, and I've got my finger on the button and you know not to press. And then you're just waiting. And it's a look, a stance or something. And, you take several shots, but when you get that good one. And it's a great feeling when you see something and you just know. But you tend to walk around and you view the world as a photograph. You see people and images. And, I think they call it the eye, don't they, for a photographer, to have the eye. So you look around and you do know.
Yeah,
you do know.
Which is kind of in line with the statement that you made. I don't capture what people look like, I capture who they are. I want you to say it's just them. So whenever you're taking the photograph, you want to make certain that it is them that you're capturing.
It is, I think, and that really came from the customers that work with that phrase, because we'd do viewings and they'd see the images, particularly of the children, and they'd say, oh, I love it, it's just them. And that is what was important to me. It wasn't them saying, oh, it's a nice photograph. It was them looking, saying, it's just them. You've captured my child or friends or family, whatever. I think that's the most important thing. Because looking back at photographs, it's all you have. Memories, and people forget. I have young children. And as everyone says, they grow so quickly. And memories of events, of celebrations. And it's really important. My father passed away in December, and it's your photographs that you have.
Exactly.
And it was really important, and it becomes even more important when you realise people don't last forever, and what you have left of the memories. And I think that's why it's important.
That really is true, isn't it? It's the photographs that record the life. Often people will talk about music and memories that often somebody can remember where they were at a certain time because of music. But it's that photograph that just brings people back to life when you look at the photograph, because the memory, you remember who they were, about them, Definitely. And about the places you went together. So it's amazing, the power of a photograph, isn't it?
It is important. It's my father had dementia, and as his memory was slowly going, photographs were the lifeline he had to anything, and we'd sit there and it made me realise the power of a photograph. It's the only way you can actually capture what has been. And, the happy memories, that's what we're looking for, happy memories. Children go quickly. People aren't around forever. So it's also something that I do feel is important in people's lives, and hopefully if I can help and provide that for them and make it fun as well and make the experience, because let's face it, I don't think anybody has ever walked into the studio or looked in front of the camera and said, I'm looking forward to this. They've always said, I hate it, I take a bad photograph. So my job's really important to make them feel comfortable and to capture that picture. And
that's an interesting point. Do people take a bad photograph?
Can I say that? Do you know, it's funny because, I've also worked with many, many models and, people in the profession who, professionally work in front of a camera. It isn't about being beautiful. It's about being photogenic, and some people do take a fantastic picture. But then again, I think it's the skill of a photographer to try and find what that look is. It is not about being pretty or beautiful or handsome. It's about capturing character or a look or an expression that just sums up personality. And it's personality. Lovely, beautiful people, it comes from the inside. I think it's trying to capture that in a photograph, and that's what beauty is all about.
And is it often the eyes? Are the eyes, they always say the eyes are the key to the soul, or whatever the statement is. In photography, is it really the eyes that always is, the focal point of a portrait?
It is. I mean, if you have a camera as a photographer, you have one point to focus on for the whole image, and you always focus on the eye. And I think that really sums it up. It's important. The eye is the key. I don't think you need the eyes in an image to take a great photograph. There are times where eyes have been hidden, or people have got their eyes shut and have got a great image. And glasses, etc., sunglasses. But at the same time, the eyes, trying to capture a picture and to see emotion in eyes. And it can be happy, sad, anger, whatever it may be, but the emotion is there in the eyes, and that's what you're looking for at the end of the day.
And how difficult is it in business these days, photography, given that everyone has a camera in the pocket with a mobile phone or a compact camera? Wherever you go, you see people, just pulling the cameras out, phone, taking photographs. Does that make it more difficult, or does it actually make photography more popular?
I think photography is a lot more popular. I, go on holiday now or go out and about, and more people have got the large, the SLR cameras than the compacts that used to be. You can go around the pool at any hotel, and the majority of people have got the SLR cameras these days. But again, you go back to the eye. There's two sides to photography. You've got your technical aspect, and you've got the composition. And the technical side, anyone can learn. You can go to college, you can read books, you go on YouTube, and you can find that. Having that composition, or having the eye and the ability to see that image, knowing when to press the button, that I think is what sets you apart from other people. And the phrase is, why does it cost so much to hire a photographer? Well, hire an amateur and see the difference.
Yes,
you're paying for the eye, and you're paying for the skill, not just the technical expertise.
Yes, we were talking quite a lot the other day about composition, and that really is so important, isn't it? So tell us a little about where people can have a look at your work then, Sue.
Right, okay, fantastic. Well, various aspects. You've got I have my website, which is susieqphotography.co.uk. That's SUSIE. Photography.co.uk. I have a Facebook page, which I tend to update a lot more. If you just go facebook.com/Susie Q Photography, you don't even need to be on Facebook to view that either. I am on Twitter. I'm getting in the habit of tweeting, and not the best, but I'm getting in the habit of it. I keep being told I need to do it. And that's at Susie Q Photos. You can call me by all means. My number is 07970 617261, and it's weddings, it's lifestyle, I say places, products.
And Gary Barlow.
Gary Barlow. Yeah, I will live up that for many years.
You were in your element then, where you
I have a large picture of Gary. It's good on the stairs in my studio. There's a huge picture of Gary, and I can stroke his legs every time I pass.
And if there was one person in this world, whatever their background, show business, whatever, who would that person be that you would like to photograph?
Do you know, I was talking about this the other day. I think I would like to photograph Ollie Murs. I don't know where that's
Is that right?
The kudos of someone like One Direction just because they're so big. But someone like Ollie Murs, I just think his character, I just think he would be so much fun. And I just think it should be an enjoyable process. I just think he'd be a great laugh.
Wow.
One day.
You never know, he may be listening in.
Come on, Ollie.
In fact, I believe, have you got a friend in Spain listening in?
Yes, I've got a friend in Spain, and I've got quite a few friends out there that have said they're going to be listening in. They've been on my Facebook page and wishing me luck.
Lovely.
So thank you very much to all my friends.
And can I thank you for coming in this morning? It's been a pleasure to meet you. And just quickly again, the online place where they can see your photographs
is susieqphotography.co.uk.
Lovely. Well, thanks for coming on to Chat City this morning.
Thank you for having me, Hugh. It's been great.
Thanks for listening. If you've enjoyed today's interview, why not tweet Hughie at Chat City PFM?